But like, what would be kind of the supplemental daily protocol that you would want these athletes to go through, or like, you know, put in their body every day?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously start with 8 ounces of cold water, scoop AG1, nutritional bases. But athletes do have other there's other functional nutrients out there that help athletes preferably in different ways. So like one of the first ones, usually I don't think of this as a supplement, but like protein, I think of it as a macronutrient, like food. So like protein in a powder to me I don't think of that as a supplement. Just because it's like, hey, you're getting your food in through a different form. Outside of like, protein and carbohydrates around exercise.
What about like creatine and glutamine?
Yeah, creatine for sure. Creatine is probably the most studied nutritional supplement out there besides caffeine. And creatine has a lot of benefits for muscle recovery, improvements of strength, endurance. We're now learning if you take higher levels of creatine, it can actually have cognitive benefits.
Like 10 milligrams a day kind of thing?
Kind of like 10 grams.
10 grams, sorry. 10 grams.
So creatine is interesting because the muscle really wants to take all that creatine. So if you take higher doses, it can actually be available for the brain. And got some buddies up in Canada, Dr. Darren Candow and Scott Forbes, who have done a lot of research around creatine and cognition. So that's one that, it has sports performance benefits, but it may actually have some like neuroprotective effects, which for somebody like me who got hit in the head a lot playing football, maybe I should have taken more creatine when I was younger. So
you seem pretty on it right now, so far. We'll see.
Okay,
we'll let you know.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've heard more of that, the creatine affecting cognitive health. And I know Alex Kleinman's been posting a lot about constant creatine use and the brain health
and how it's helped her.
Yeah, how it's helped her. She feels better. I mean, I don't know. It's tough to say, and I think sometimes it's hard to tell. And I guess
I see it all over TV now. Like it's definitely like people are really pushing these gummies. Like,
creatine gummies
through a candy is like
creatine gummies.
Which sounds great.
Which I think is exciting because creatine's been around for a little bit, and maybe we're just starting to realize, the science community is starting to realize, oh wow, well there's maybe more that we're learning.
And when I was a kid, I was like, I just heard that it made you more jacked.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first thing. When I think of creatine, I just think of getting jacked.
Like, I don't need to be doing that. Like nowadays, it's but I'm hearing all the benefits. All right, if it gives me a little puff too.
There were so many when I was in high school, people if you're in the weight room and someone was taking a creatine in the weight room, people would be like, oh man, dude, Jeremy's on that creatine.
You think, like it's a steroid.
You think you know a guy, but
exactly
because people thought it would blow your kidneys out or have all these side effects.
Right.
And really, it's very safe. I mean, they've done it. They've given it to kids. They've given it to people with on kidney dialysis. They've given it to people with a lot of different populations, and it seems to be like a really great safety. It
also sounded like it was maybe dehydrating people. They thought it was dehydrating.
Yeah, and now we know it's actually a hydrating agent because it actually pulls water into your muscle. So it's really safe, and there's a lot of myths around it.
Yeah,
it's a good one. So that's probably the first one I suggest. Caffeine. A lot of people, some people like taking it, some people don't. But it does have an effect on performance if taken at the right level, not too much, not too little. And glutamine you mentioned. There was some data on glutamine. It depends on what you're looking for. And it does have a effect on gut health. There's some data showing it can affect immunity. But you really have to help people start with cover your nutritional bases, take creatine, your protein, and then after that, I mean, I think I do suggest AG1 because we have a lot of the gut health support, the probiotics, and the other ingredients that I would be recommending for them. So.
Mm-hmm.